This video is focused on the export widget. We're going to do an overview of the widget, and then we're going to create some exports. There is a lot of complexity to the export widget. There are a lot of things you can do, and frankly, it's just way too much to explain in this 10-minute video. So we're going to do our best with the overview, and we'll touch on all of the key features, but I would encourage you to play around. It doesn't hurt you to try small exports and see what the effects of the different options are and figure out what works best for you and your organization. It shouldn't take too long. It's just there are a lot of different paths to go down. So let's hop in the tool and play around a little bit. I've already got my export widget open, but let me close it so you get the full effect. Go and just open our export widget. It'll open right back to where it was. You can see there are two tabs. There's the export ones and the advanced options. The exports is meant to be just the simple version. I'll probably call it simple exports or something like that. And the advanced, they do basically the same thing, but obviously advanced option gives you a lot more options, a lot more directions you can go. All right, regardless of which tab you're on, you start the same way. You choose a case. And it will load the labels or issues that you have access to. If you want to use an active filter, you actually have to be logged into the actual case. But for the sake of this video, we're just going to focus on labels. I think that's where most of you will spend your time. And you can see I have access to 4 different labels. You need to understand what your labels are because this is actually a folder. So I can't really choose this, and actually we should probably have it removed. These are the sub-labels that you can choose from, and you can choose to export one of them or all of them, it doesn't matter. So we're just going to stick with those. We need to pick a path. So let's go into our exports, and then we'll do a demo 5. I don't think I have a demo directory, but just in case, well, let's actually double check. Let's make sure this is a unique name. Demo, so demo 5 should be fine. Let's export both natives and images. We can name these things based on their file name, object ID, or doc ID. We'll be adding a lot more options here shortly, but right now this is what we have access to. And then we can do a single export or multiple exports. What multiple exports does is it exports all 3 of these as individual exports. A single export will combine them all into one label and then export them. Let's do multiple here. And then you simply click export. And it's just that simple. And the directory we wanted just got made. So the demo 5 directory got made. And it's starting the export for the first one. Now the second one. And let's see if we get to the third one. Now the third one. There you go. And we can go ahead and click on this and see them all running. Now I'm just going to pause, stop talking, and wait till they're all finished because there's really nothing to see at this point. Okay, they have all finished. I can tell because I just updated and there are none in the running state. I can go look at my jobs if I want to sort, and you can see these last 3 are the ones that we just ran and they all completed successfully. You see some failed previously. And let's go into the directory and find these. Exports demo 5. These are the 3 we exported, and we can just click in and see that the images are here and the natives are here. Let's just click in, and there they are. And you can see they're named as we told them to be named, and it all worked. So that's good. That's the export widget. That's the simple options. We can come into here to advanced, though, and get much, much more complex. So in advanced, we can save templates, we can save jobs, and we have access to all of these different options down here. What I was just showing you were native exports with only the basic options available. Here we can do a native export with a lot more options. We can select the labels we want to export. We can export by category. This will export all of our documents. It'll turn a single export into many based on upper level file categories. So the docs will end up somewhere, the videos will end up somewhere, and so on and so forth. This is just a report. This is just a function to reduplicate if you've deduplicated your data. If you want to export as PST, you can. And then these are the different types. You could do HTML. We were just doing MSG. You can export natives or images. You can also export text. When you do that, you can select what type of text you're interested in exporting, whether or not it's OCR'd or what. You can read all those different options. You can exclude files. Let's say you wanted to export all the natives except for Excel. Or let's say more likely you wanted to export all the images except for Excel. You didn't want to export the Excel images. This would be a great place you could do it. You could go label the Excel images and just exclude that from your export. You also have access to branding within the imaging. There's just so many options here that you can go through. Volume naming is how you will name the files. This is how you'll name the folders. This is how you'll name volumes of folders. And you can see all the different options we have access to and all the different kind of naming conventions you can go through. Now, I'm going to do a video on exporting for eDiscovery users because they have to utilize these features much more readily. But it is the same options that are available in Summation if you're familiar with that. Here are some imaging options, whether you want to exclude extensions. I mean, again, what type of file format you want to utilize. Options for spreadsheets and Word documents, branding options if you want a watermark across the image or if you want bait stamps or things like that. And finally, slip sheets if you want to insert a specific message when a given document can't be imaged. So again, super quick, and hopefully I was fair in my intro, saying there's way more here than can be covered in a simple video. But we will have follow-on videos for people focused on utilizing more of these features in more depth. Let me, before I end, quickly show that there are a bunch of different types of file types you can export. You can do a load file. You can do browser briefcase, which exports a program along with the export that allows the data to be viewed. You can export as an AD1 or a production set. Production set is somewhat unique versus the other exports in that it doesn't actually export the data. What it does is it creates a special, it creates copies of the data, adds them back to your case as a production set. So you can then review those documents and in the future export them, maybe bait stamp them, maybe do any number of different operations. Each one of these file types causes different options to be exposed here. So like if we do AD1, you can see all those go away. If we do load files, they pop back. Production sets has a different set. So they all have different options available, and again, quite complicated. But this is basically an overview. Feel free to play around. You cannot hurt yourself by trying to run a couple exports, play with the different options, and see what they do. That is the best way to learn this widget. So I hope this video was a good intro and got you started. Please post any comments if you have any.